How do you talk about an experience that billions of people have shared for thousands of years, but each person has experienced differently? I guess you try to capture the totality, pun intended, of what it's like. That's what Carmen Maria Machado does in her genre-bending essay collection, Her Body and Other Parties, from stories rooted in history to ones that are science fiction to horror. Each piece considers how women experience and perceive their own bodies and the world around them. Machado weaves together cultural references, folklore, personal experiences, and academic research into something both deeply personal and viscerally relatable. Welcome back to the channel. When a writer as talented as Carmen Maria Machado tackles writing about a subject like the lunar cycle, you know it's going to be a special kind of gorgeous. When I first read this essay, I was immediately struck by how the author personifies the moon and uses it as a frame to examine humanity's relationship with the cosmos. This narrative device allows the author to explore a variety of human emotions, beliefs, and perceptions throughout history. I loved how each section wove in a new story of the moon, its changing appearance, and how humanity reacted to it. The essay opens with a list of possibilities. On some nights, I was a silver coin tucked under the pillow of the sky. On others, I was a watchman's lamp, steady over rivers and roofs. This sets the stage for the rest of the essay. We will see the moon take on many faces throughout this story. Then comes the title, Blood Moon. The author explains why this name stuck. I remember the first storytellers who tried to name what they felt. These storytellers aren't academics or astronomers. They're just everyday people trying to make sense of what they see in the sky. Fire crackled and someone pointed up. The circle he knew as faithful and pale had bruised red. He told the children a beast was taking bites out of it. They believed him because the world is full of teeth when you are small. This opening establishes a few key elements of the essay. First, it highlights the importance of storytelling and oral tradition in shaping our understanding of the natural world. Second, it emphasizes how our interpretations of natural phenomena are often influenced by our fears and biases. The storyteller saw a threat in the red moon, and the children naturally believed him because to them the world was dangerous. Third, the use of the word believed suggests that there are multiple ways of knowing and understanding the world, and that scientific knowledge is unnecessarily superior to other forms of knowledge. The author goes on to explain how different cultures perceived the same phenomenon in different ways. In a city of clay tablets and red pens, scribes noticed a pattern. They drew rows and rows of marks to pin down the sky's breathing. Each time my face reddened, it came back again. After many seasons, as if the heavens were turning a great wheel. Again, we see the idea of pattern recognition and how humans try to make sense of what they observe. The scribes may not have understood the scientific reasons behind the lunar cycle, but they still recognized the pattern and created their own explanation for it. They also established a connection between the moon and the concept of time, noting the cyclical nature of the lunar phases. This sets the stage for the essay's exploration of the human fascination with the moon and its impact on our lives. The author continues the essay with the story of how the Babylonians developed the idea of the Saros, the time period during which the moon goes through its full cycle of phases approximately every 27 days. This part of the essay highlights the role of observation and curiosity in driving scientific progress. As the author points out, the Babylonians didn't know the word Saros, not yet, but they knew rhythm. This shows that complex mathematical concepts can be grasped intuitively through observation and pattern recognition, even without the use of abstract language or symbols. The author also emphasizes the importance of cultural context in understanding scientific ideas by explaining the Babylonian belief that the Saros was evidence of a divinely created order in the universe. This belief reflects the ancient Mesopotamians' desire to find meaning and purpose in the natural world and their tendency to see divine agency in natural phenomena. Overall, this section of the essay showcases the ingenuity and intellectual curiosity of ancient civilizations and how their observations of the natural world led to the development of sophisticated mathematical and astronomical concepts. The author then shifts the focus to the Mayan civilization and their unique approach to timekeeping. Unlike the Babylonians, the Mayans did not rely on a single timekeeping system and instead used multiple methods based on different cycles of the natural world. This included the solar calendar, the lunar calendar, and the agricultural calendar. The author explains that the Maya also used a vigesimal or base 20 counting system rather than the decimal system used by the Babylonians. This is a fascinating insight into the diversity of human cultures and the different ways that different societies approach mathematics and astronomy. The author then discusses how the Maya's knowledge of the lunar cycle was used in their art and architecture, such as in the Dresden Codex and the Tepentitla murals. The author also explains how the Maya's understanding of the lunar cycle influenced their religious beliefs and practices, such as their association of the moon with fertility and agriculture. The author returns to the modern day and explores how the perception of the moon has changed in recent centuries. The author discusses how, in the past, rural communities had a closer connection to the natural world, and the moon's cycles played a significant role in their daily lives. For example, farmers would use the moon's phases to determine the best time to plant crops or harvest their fields. Fishermen would pay attention to the tides, and animals would use the moon for navigation and hunting. The author also explores how the rise of industrialization and urbanization in the 18th century led to a disconnect between many people and the natural world. As cities grew and people became more removed from agricultural practices, the significance of the lunar cycle in everyday life diminished. However, the author argues that despite this disconnect, the moon still holds a powerful presence in our collective consciousness. In the final section of the essay, The author explores the contemporary fascination with the so-called blood moon, a total lunar eclipse that occurs when the moon passes through the Earth's shadow and takes on a reddish hue. The author discusses how this event has been popularly associated with various apocalyptic and doomsday scenarios, as well as its significance in different religious and spiritual traditions. They also mention how the blood moon phenomenon has been used as a plot device in popular culture, such as in films and television shows. Throughout this section, the author reflects on the enduring power of the moon to inspire wonder, fear, and speculation in the human imagination. They also emphasize the cultural and historical factors that shape our perceptions of the moon and its place in the universe. If you want to better understand global politics, start by getting your news from multiple perspectives. And that's it. So, what do you think? How do you describe a total lunar eclipse? What memories do you have of watching one? Let us know in the comments below. And before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep these videos coming. Thanks for watching.